Right.
The
Major General Sudhakarji, because I'm running a little short on time, I'll request you to kindly stay on with me. I'm hearing all the opinions that you are putting it out on the table, and for the benefit of our viewers as well, I'll request you to kindly stay on with me. We are also getting more development so that we can discuss and deliberate in detail. When the opposition fighters entered the Damascus on December 8th, they had announced a curfew at night, and state and public institutions stopped their services. But on the third day after the regime's collapse, banks and bazaars have reopened, and now life has begun to return to normalcy. The historic Hamidiyya Bazaar, which was closed for 2 days, is now bustling with people again. As in fact, Major General Sudhakarji continues to be with me on the broadcast. Now, life is also coming back to, in fact, its motion in Syria. Can we hope for a better future? Because there are also parts of people who, the reports that we are also reading out, there are reports that say that a lot of faction are unhappy with how it has ended. But at the same time, because of the frustration and the long-term regime of Assad, this is in fact seen as a big achievement and a full justice and the fight that was for a good cause. Can we now look forward for the Syrian citizens and for the people of the country to have hope, as now this is in fact coming back, as of now it seems going to some sort of normalcy?
very relevant question, Simran. Well, when you ask about hope, who won't like to have a better quality of life? They want some respite, some breather, some reprieve from this ongoing, unmindful kind of a mindless kind of a conflict which has been going on for past 50 years, and people may not agree. You see, between 2011 to 2015, until Russians invaded, or Russians were invited rather, not invaded, things were really in a bad shape after the Arab Spring. The 2011, when Assad was about to be removed from the regime change was to take place, it is because of timely intervention of Russia which actually enabled Assad to continue his regime. But the fact is that you are asking a very interesting question. This is a country which has gone through the ignominy of denial of human rights, denial of civil liberty, denial of political rights for not 1 year or 2 years, for 50 long years, more than 50 years. It has become a way of life. People have actually lived in or lived through the state of depravity. That is all I'm saying. So therefore, who would like to hope? I'm sure they must be hoping. But the fact of the matter is, how much is possible to be achieved? Can you restore democracy in this country? I would, ideally speaking, that this should be converted into a sanctuary of civil rights, sanctuary of political rights, sanctuary of freedom of speech and communication and the human rights, and some form of democracy must come back if US means business. Unfortunately, the next incumbent, Donald Trump, has said, we are not bothered. He's washing off his hands what is happening in Syria. So therefore, where does it lead us to? It leads us to the same terrorist people. Are they capable to govern? That is what the point is. If they are not capable to govern, if US doesn't have its footprint, my fear, Simran, is that Turkey is all out to expand its Ottoman Empire concept. Once upon a time, that also was a global power. And Erdogan is not going to sit and rest and bask in the glory of past. He is going through a tough time, although, but he is all out to assert his authority in the Middle East. And to start with, Syria being very close to its border, 5 million or more people are waiting, refugees, to come back to Syria. And there is a fear of the terrorism spilling over to Syria, to Turkey from Syria side. Therefore, he would like to take proactive action. If Erdogan comes to power, or he drives the entire governance issue in Syria, my fear is that we are going to move from a situation of bad to worse, wherein there will be no control, there will be nobody listening to the global order or rule of law, and it is again going to turn into a caliphate of the ISIS. My fear is, Simran, that ISIS should not re-emerge. The same ISIS whose backbone has been decimated and broken by USA and NATO forces way back in 2017, leading to decimation and dividing them, breaking them into splinter groups. One towards Northwest Africa, One was Levante area. This is part of the Levante area, and one towards the Central Asian Republic, and also extension of this ISIS Khorasan, which is Central Asian Republic, is the caliphate of 8,000 kilometers going up to New Zealand, cutting across India. So if the ISIS is actually given birth or re-emergence, then the whole world is going to be absolute turmoil. 21st century will not see any peace and harmony. This is my only fear. So therefore,
All right.
the requirement that
All right, sir. All right. We will also come back to you, but now let's put some focus